Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share the messages that I get from Spirit and from all of our higher selves that are on this journey to unconditional love. And so, what I wanted to share today is a healing that I did for a lady yesterday. And it just shows again what we are all here to do and the challenges that we face on this journey. And it is all about moving out of fear into love. And so, when I did the healing for this lady, I saw them as little children on a beach, and they were digging a hole in the sand. And then and they were digging it with little spades. And then what I saw gold coins filling the sand until it was overflowing with gold coins. And then I heard the song Circle in the Sand. And also I think the other song was On the Wings of Love. And so I sent the lady the healing, and there was a mantra and some heart healing chanting that I did and various things that came with that healing. But when I heard back from the lady, I asked her if I could share it because this is so touching. And this is what I mean when I do the healings for you and then I hear back from you to say how it fits in with your journey. It is so heartwarming and so touching to be able to do this for people, because what I saw then related so closely to her story, and you'll see that now, that it put her into that absolute position of being in faith and hope again, to trust in her journey, right? To think, I'm not crazy. I do know that this, I'm right to keep on going. So she said, thank you so much. The symbolisms in your message brought me to tears. It resonates so much with our path. I feel the need to share with you all that has brought us to where we are now. Within a very short period of time, 5 years ago now, we suffered tremendous loss in our lives. 2 of my twins' closest cousins, whom he considered brothers, committed suicide within a 9-month period. Shortly after, my dad died suddenly and unexpectedly while we were vacationing in the Bahamas. It was nothing we could have been prepared for. My dad was a huge part of our lives. A month after that, my twin made a life-changing decision to leave his family business, which was all he'd ever known, and this brought about a change in our financial situation, or at least much less of a sense of security there. Shortly after all of this chaos, I noticed a huge change in my twin. He became withdrawn, overwhelmed, and looking back, I see now that I was losing myself as well, trying so hard to make sure everyone was okay and not taking care of myself. So many people needed me emotionally. I had 3 children that I was raising, and I got my twins' new business up and running and dove into that responsibility as well. Soon, I didn't recognize my twin any longer, and I'm sure he felt the same way about me. We separated a 1.5 years later, and 6 weeks after that, our 5-year-old nephew, who was a perfectly healthy little boy, suffered a heart attack and passed away. It was all just too much. Any thought of us even working on our relationship was non-existent. We sold our home, which had just been built 2 years prior. We pushed and pulled at each other throughout our separation until we finally divorced 2 months ago. And last week we had to put our dog, our family pet of 14 years, to sleep. It was a very difficult week, and my twin and I retreated further. I continue to try to find the lessons in all of this and to heal myself. And what you saw in your healing with the coins, well, my twin has become consumed with his work. I do believe that he defines his worth by the financial security he can offer. He has always been an incredibly generous man, very giving, and he would give anyone the shirt off his back. Every homeless person he came across, he gave them money, always. I've always felt strongly that him finding his self-worth again is somehow tied to his ability to provide. And the sand, well, that just made me cry. He and I loved the beach, and we got engaged on Nantucket Island, and he planned a candlelit dinner on the beach at a beautiful restaurant on the island. A table for 2 with heat lamps and just the night sky. It was amazing. And we married on a beach on the 5th of the 5th of the 6th on the island of St. John. I have worked very hard to rediscover myself, to find the person that got swept up in a storm, and I continue to try to have faith in what I know to be true, even as my twin pushes me away and seems to reject his own truth and our truth. I work very hard at times to not question this connection. I so wish I could share your message with him now. But for now, I will just continue to pray that we are both finally guided home. I just cannot thank you enough for giving me a sense of hope and the strength to continue to trust in what I know in my soul. And so that's why that's so amazing, because in the healing, I saw them digging the sand and then filling the sand with gold coins. And the gold coins is obviously symbolic of him wanting to get his self-worth through financial aspects again. But also the gold coin is about holding the gold coin of truth. And the gold coin of truth is the truth of your soul. And so that's why, and the fact that they got married on the beach was, again, so incredibly symbolic for that lady. So I just went back to her and I said, I'm so touched by your story, and I know others will as well. Was she happy to share it? And she says, yes, you can absolutely share it. I will keep dreaming big and praying for miracles for everyone. And she said, I also forgot to mention to you that the image you sent me of the gold coin meaning has a time at the top of it, which was 55, and 55 is their wedding day. And also, ironically, her twin is currently spending most of his time building a home, because he's a home builder, on Nantucket, of all places. Which is the beautiful synchronicity of what happens in these, what happens. I mean, it's just quite amazing, right? And so 55 is the letter for today, which is, we had this the other day, but it obviously wants to come out again, because 5 and 5. And remember, 5 is all about change. So that lady, which her story is so touching, right? Because they've been married and they're going through life stuff, they've drifted apart. And they drifted apart because they lost themselves. And he obviously lost his self-worth because of that financial aspect. Which, if you watched the weekly energy read this week, the thing that was blocking them coming forward was around this practical and financial stuff, right? And that's what always happens, is that there is this sense of, I can't move forward because I'm not in the right place financially, or I don't have the right practical things. And practical stuff in most people's lives is what stops them from doing things, right? But in a true love relationship, you can't have that, right? You have to move past that. Anyway, and you have to trust that all of that will come together at the right time. So the letter 55 is this. And so I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that comes to me for healings and to share their stories, because that is so amazing. To me, I feel that made my day, because I was like, I could help that lady to know that you're right to keep on going. You're right to have that faith and hope in your journey. And no matter what it looks like from the outside, it doesn't matter, because your souls are yearning to be together. That's what you have to realize. Your souls are like galloping forward to be together. It's your physical body and your physical mind that delays things by creating these barriers, right? And so it's moving out of that barrier into the love. So the message is, you are my angel of light, the one that brought me home to myself, knowing the innermost parts of me, of my heart. That is what you have given me, shining a light on the parts of me that I needed to love, just as I know you love all of me. That is why I adore you, and I know that our love is eternal and so beautiful and tender and caring, and everything that I've ever wanted for my life, for our life together. You open up possibilities for me to see a way of life that we can be truly happy together. You change my view of me, of my view of what's important. I know now that I am important and our love is important. We are meant to be together. We are each other's home, like the oyster and the shell making a pearl. You and me, we are the pearl, the essence of all life, the pearl of wisdom and the pearl of the universe. Our love is real. Wow. And I've just realised that this was the letter from yesterday as well. So definitely what they want to say is it's all about change, and it's all about, being really, really strong in your conviction about wanting to be on this journey, right? Because you can get so dunked by the water. yesterday I was with a friend. We were walking along the beach, and the sea was like super stormy, right? And it was coming up over the sides and like literally splashing over us. And so it's that thing of like, you have a choice. You can either ride on top of the waves, or like a surfer, go in the wave and through it, or you get dunked, right? So don't get dunked. Just always be really strong in what you want, right? And then be passionate about that, right? Because that will allow you to ride those waves or go through the waves, right? Just don't get dunked by the wave. All right. Well, I hope that helps. If you want to have a letter from here, like a letter like this, it's only $10. You just, all details are in the link. If you want to have a healing or a reading, I'm doing package offers. So if you buy 2, you get 3. If you buy 3, you get 4, and so on. And so you can have a healing, a reading, and a your story read, which is like a conversation. I ask 8 questions, and you get 8, and you get, it's like a, I don't know, they always work kind of magically. So it just sort of flows into this conversation that you have with your divine counterpart. But all of those details are in the link. And I just want to say thank you, because again, this was such an amazing, you know, it's just amazing to see how everyone's stories are so heartwarming, right? And to see how it's all going to come back together, because, you know, that's the other thing. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that every single one of you that comes to me for a healing, or comes to me for a reading, or comes to me to join the crystal grid, I have 100% faith that you're going to get back together with your twin. There is nothing in my mind that doubts that. So that's why I am honoured to do this journey with every single one of you. All right, that's it. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.